Hey YouTube, we need to talk about the Go Battle League season, but before we do that, there's actually a bigger issue that I want to talk about, and this is what I think is either Niantic saying we're done with trying, or their attempt of saying we're going to sell this game to someone else, because we're going to go over GBL in a second, which is absolutely just, they didn't even think about it. But the thing they actually even thought less about is this Rising Heroes entire season 10. And I don't like, we know GBL is bottom of the barrel for Niantic in terms of this game. That doesn't surprise me. What actually surprises me is the lack of thought and effort that came into this season, because they do care about like people shiny hunting, and they care about events, and they care about all this other stuff. And that isn't even in this. Like, this truly looks like someone thought about this at the last second and did not care at all what's going on. So you have this Rising Heroes event. So the next 3 months, the new features. So this Gimagool, there's hundreds of videos posted the other day about how to get it. It's not even that relevant in PvP with the moveset, so you can like watch those other videos or read this how to get it. And double small and double XL Pokemon, and this is what you're promoting. This is what you think people care about, but that's not even the worst. So season highlights. So elite raids, where trainers take on in person. So you're going to have these new Pokemon hidden behind these elite raids that you need to do in person. And if you click on learn more, it takes you back to the top. And this whole season is filled with learn more, and it takes you back to the top because they don't even have information on that. So hiding new Pokemon behind difficult in-person raids is already an issue. Community days, they gave the dates, but they have not announced anything. That's fine. They don't typically announce those super far ahead. Stickers, who cares? Research, I'm gonna ignore that. And then let's go into like March and April and stuff, because like the raids are actually, for me, not terrible, because Tornadus, whatever, useless in PvP, so I'm not worried about that. If you need some Mega Charizards, you can do that. But then we get into Ho-Oh, which is one of the top performing Pokemon in GBL. So if you need that for raid and for Master League, right? These are all Master League Pokemon that you need. And then, so we have Ho-Oh, we have Ho-Oh again. Mega Medicham makes his debut. That's whatever. Thundurus, again, is one that you can ignore. But then we get to Lugia. And Lugia is probably one of the best top Pokemon in the Master League, especially as a safe swap. So being able to get Ho-Ohs and Lugias, I think are quite good. So I would actually focus on those two Pokemon for getting XL candies for Master League, because I think those, I don't know when they're come back again. They usually recycle a lot, but if you need XLs and you need a good IV one, I think now is the time to grind those, and I would ignore the other ones for PvP purposes, in my opinion. Go Battle League, we will talk about in a second. But even down here, like the breakthroughs, we know they're not giving away anything that matters in the breakthroughs. Hopefully, honestly, if you get a Snorlax is pretty good in Master League, has some play in Ultra League. So out of all these, you're hoping for that or Gumi, because I expect Gumi to have a community day in the future. But like, they don't even really tell you like what Pokemon you're gonna. So I guess you can click. So cities, this is where I am. You see more Togetic and Gardevoir. So like, and Trubbish. So like, that's good. That is good dust for me. Like second evolution, and what is it, 500 or 750 for that. And you got Executors here. Formantis has play in the forest. Mawel, if you want that. Snorlax is, again, if you don't have a good Metachamp, that's something you can grind for in the mountains. Goomies in Beach and Water. Husseini and Quillfish, definitely in some meta cups. Northern Hemisphere, Skarmory, again, doesn't have a ton of play right now, but Skarmory is not a terrible option. Southern Hemisphere, we've seen starters. We've seen starters 100 times. So that, again, the Pokemon that you're going to see in the wild, not terrible. In terms of eggs, 2 kilometers, nothing you really want to hatch here. 5 kilometers, nothing you really want to hatch here. 7 kilometers, Husseinian Sneasel, maybe. 10 kilometers, Amarua, how we pronounce that, and Jangmo, I think are two that you really want to hatch in 10 KA. So I don't hate that. Have they changed this? No, and no. Like those are the. But this is actually one of the biggest disappointments of this entire thing. So right now we have trading anywhere. Like even if it's 0 kilometers away, you get a guaranteed XL candy for trading. And the way Master League was going, we thought that if they want to promote in-person raids, they would do like guaranteed XL candy drop for in-person raids for a 5-star, something like that. And not only did they did that, they did nothing. They increased damage dealt by Pokemon participating in raids remotely. Okay, so your remote raid passes still work okay. Team Go Rockets will appear more frequently by Pokestops. Like, okay, if you want more like shadow Pokemon, that's okay. And then you earn more dust. What are you gonna earn? Like, you get 500 now, you're gonna earn like 750, 1,000. Like, who cares? So the bonuses are like actually the most disappointing part of all this. And it just seems like they did not think at all about the actual season. In terms of Go Battle League, not changing the moveset is like extremely disappointing and totally on brand for Niantic. Like, the meta for Great League is broken. I called this, if you go watch my video that I did 3 months ago, I called the trifecta. I called Noctowl is going to get buffed, which means you're going to see more steals, which means you're going to see more Metacham. And that is exactly what's happening. Lantern's come into play too, so it's trifecta plus Lantern. That is the Great League from now on. So I'm not going to go over all these cups because actually I'm posting this on March 1st turnover. So Great League and Fantasy Cup is on. So in the afternoon, right when the league turns over, if PV Poke has updated their Ultra League, I will update Fantasy Cup with team suggestions and rankings later today. So stay tuned for that. I'm not going to go over these cups. Again, I cover these every week. So like next week, the day before or the morning of, I will go over what the color cup is and ranking and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go over this. Here's where I will give Niantic some props. So always Great League or Great League Ultra League combo, Ultra League Great League combo, Ultra League Great League combo, Master League. Little Cup is back. And to have a Little Cup on with Master League is great because Great League can get stale pretty quickly. And to have something that is very otherwise accessible for a little bit of dust is amazing. So Little Cup goes on with Master League. A Spring Cup, Great League goes on with Master League again. So if you want to play Master League, you can play. But if not, you do that. You still have the 3 times reward dust that you're able to grind in Little Cup and Great League. Everything's open here. That's 4 leagues is a lot of leagues for 1 week. That may kind of limit the amount of players that you see in each league. But again, we're going like Great League, a Great League with a Master Premier. So it is level 50, but it's no legendary. So break out my Gyarados, Metagross, Dragonite lineup. But again, Ultra League with a Little Cup, Ultra League with a Great League, Master League with a Little Cup, Little Element Cup, Master League with a Catch Cup for Great League. So they're not screwing with you with the Master League like they did this season. They will always have an option, and some of these are just like 500 CP options, which is not a bad option to have. So even though they didn't update really any moves, we'll go to that in a second. I'm actually glad that they have options so people do not need to sit out during Master League. And a lot of these, I'm not going to go over all of them. I'll go over Go Battle Day when it comes up. A couple Go Battle Days, I'll just talk about them when they come up. Rewards, don't care about that. But one thing they will do is, I always said I hate the single typing cups. They at least try to make it, most of these are like 3 to 4. Some of them are 1, but like most of them are 3 to 4. Like Fantasy Cup start off like Dragon, Steel, Fairy are eligible. So that's 3 typings, right? Color Cup, Fire, Water, Grass, Electric. That's 4 typings. Mountain, Ice, Ground, Rock, and Steel, right? So that's 4 typings. So Swampert banned for a good reason. So at least they're not doing like a Great League with a single mono typing that is good. At least like these will have some variation where you can again, I'll wait for the rankings to come out and team build then, but at least that gives you some flexibility with that. Spring Cup, water, grass, and fairy. So 3, 4, normal, fire, grass, and ground. So thank you, Niantic, for this. Like, no more single cups. There is a psychic cup, as I just say, that's only psychic, which is annoying. But for the most part, weather, fire, ice, rock, fire, water, ice, rock. So 4 there, 3 there. So for the most part, every single thing has at least, there's except for the psychic cup, every single one is 3 to 4 Pokemon typings, which is fantastic. It at least provides a little more flexibility in the meta, and you'll, instead of having like 5 to 6 Pokemon dominate, you will have like 10 to 15 dominate, but at least there's a little more flexibility in team building, which is good. Useless. You want to keep too slow on the charge. You want to keep the main moves on Flygon and Como. Anyways, Whimsicott is a slight upgrade with Fast Attack Fairy Wind. So definitely I'd run that. It still has its problems, but that's an upgrade. Surf, huge upgrade. Not useful as much in the Great League because you still have what is going to be Lantern, Noctowl, and Trevenant dominating. So you're absolutely useless with that there. Plus, like, you still have Registeel with Zapcan and stuff like that. So it's not going to be super useful in the Great League. But in the Ultra League, this is a huge, huge upgrade. And someone already covered it. You flip like 6 or 7 matchups with like Snorlax and Amok and Galarian Stunfisk and like 6 or 7 matchups in the 0 and 1 shield. So Jellicent, huge boost in the Ultra League. Definitely grind those XL candies if you need it. I luckily have a rank 1 built up, so I will definitely test that out as soon as Ultra League roll around. But that is it. How am I going to deal with this season with what is going to be just a very boring same meta, right? So my thought process is I'm going to focus on these other cups. I don't know if I'll do like maybe Ultra League Fantasy Cup's a little tricky, but I'll do like a few there. I'll focus on Color Cup here. I'll probably play Ultra League here. Let me just make sure it's actually there. Yeah, so I'll play Ultra League here. So yeah, my focus is, sorry, I'm just messing with my system here. So yeah, the Mountain Cup, I'll focus on that there. So my Little Cup, I'll obviously focus on that there. So my priority is to focus on these different cups. In terms of showcasing Pokemon, I will not be building up anything unnecessarily because I think my focus is moving forward to build up for Master League. I've now built up, in addition to like my Gyarados, Dragonite, Metagross, I have Swampert, Machamp. I've just built up a Mamoswine to level 50. I have Garchomp at level 50, so I have a lot for the Premier. I don't have anything for Master League Open, so I'm going to focus on like not grinding hard, but I'm going to do pretty okay with Lugia and Ho-Oh to try and get some of those, and just focusing on the Pokemon there. So that's where my dust is going to go. That's where my candies are going to go. I've built up, again, if you caught my live stream a while ago, I have like 160 double move Pokemon for a Great League, something like that, right? So I don't really need to build up anything else. There's nothing else that needs testing in that Great League. I may build up something for factions. The factions haven't announced their cups yet, so I may build up like a Pokemon for that. But I think for me, and I think for you as well, if you've played for a while and have your Pokemon, I think it's just this is a dust collection season, and focus on getting like meta Pokemon for Ultra League or Master League that you may not have yet. And for those of you who still don't have good Pokemon, because the meta has not changed, now's the time to build up. You have 3 months here, and Great League is on a lot. So build up those Noctowls, build up those Lanterns, build up those Trevenants if you don't have them yet, because I think those will still have a ton of play in these leagues for the next 3 months, and that is a good way to grind ELO. And those are my thoughts on the season. So, yeah, if you have any comments, let me know below. like I said, the season turns over at, I think, 4 p.m. today, I assume. So I will have a video going live, assuming PvPoke has updated their rankings on this Fantasy Cup for Ultra League. And I may test that out right away first, just for some fun. I may do that for like the first couple days and then go back to Great League and then hate the RPS meta that is the Trifecta plus Lantern. Let me know your thoughts below on GBL season and the general season. I've posted my thoughts on Twitter multiple times on this. The general consensus is like everyone hates this, not only for the PvP aspect, but like they hate the season in general. And I think someone posted it best is I would call this a swing and a miss, but they didn't even swing, right? It just like, this truly looks like someone thought about all of this, the season and GBL at the last second, do not care. So that leads me back to my thing of like, Niantic is either at the point where this game is 7 years old now. The player base is the way it is. And I also posted on Twitter, like, during the Heroes Niantic for the Pokestop distance, a lot of people like voted with their money and said, I'm not spending any money until you listen to us. And everyone didn't spend money, and they fixed it. And then what happens? Everyone reverts back. I said everyone goes back and spends all their money again to hunt shinies, to hatch eggs, to do primal raids. And it's like, of course Niantic is able to do this and not care about this game. They're still, everyone's joking like, oh, look at their profit is down. Their profit is down from what, like $1 billion to 750 million. Like, they are making bank on this game with minimal effort, and people continue to not like change their habits in any way that will tell Niantic to change their ways. So not that I'm like blaming the player base, but like at a certain point, you either accept this is just how Niantic is going to run this game, or you start changing your habits to show them that they need to change before you start spending money again. And like real change, not just like giving in once here, right? Anyways, not surprising that this is filled with Dan rant 17 minutes in. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up. Let me know your comments on this, and I will see you guys in the next one.